Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Horus Heresy. Is this the revolutionary game that's going to change Warhammer forever, or is it just a fad and it's already dying? This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. So as we basically come up on the better part of a year since Horus Heresy was released, I think we're at about the 8-month mark right now. We saw the release of the new Horus Heresy Age of Darkness box set, and I just want to take a look at all the releases that have come out in that meantime, all the stuff that is available, and just kind of gauge the overall interest of it based on what's available in the store. Now, we know a lot of these items used to be exclusively offered from Forge World in resin, and with the exception of some of the Forge World stuff that's still offered on the actual Games Workshop website in their range, all of the stuff that has been redone in plastic. So that being said, I just went over and picked the Legion Astartes 102 selections. There's obviously 70 for Loyalist and 69 for Trader. There's a lot of overlap in those. The easiest thing to do is just pick the Astartes and just kind of look at that, because that's where almost all the kits fall, all the box sets, etc. So I have it sorted with 102 results, and we just have it basically have Games Workshop recommends it. So that means stuff that's sold out or out of stock is going to be all the way at the bottom. So obviously this is the big set that let it all off, big savings in this Age of Darkness set. And the truth is, at first people were worried this was going to be a limited release and sell out. And now I see them online regularly for like 30+% off. Which, if you know how Games Workshop's policy works, while something is currently offered in the Games Workshop web store, retailers are not allowed to discount it over 15% advertised or 20% in some countries. So if you're seeing it for sale at 30% or more off, that means something went wrong and someone is desperately just trying to unload copies of it. So that being said, when this first came out, everybody was talking about how it was going to kill 40K, how it was going to take over, the rules creep was dead, or the models weren't as cool, or, you know, all of the different arguments as to why the Horus Heresy is cooler and better, and it's going to eventually dethrone 40K and take over. But obviously, it was just a sales tactic, a pipe dream, and so on. So as we kind of scroll down here, we see that essentially all these releases have come out in that 8-month period. So as we go down here, we can see if any of these are like old and leftover units. And obviously, as we're scrolling here, we see that none of them are. These are all new either units or boxes of units that Games Workshop has released in that time. Now, there's quite a few bundles in here, which is basically a unit with like an upgrade sprue, like kind of tuned up with it. So here we are basically like 8 months in, and we see like 20 or 30 new releases. And all of them are readily available in Games Workshop store. And you might think, well, that's normal. Why wouldn't all of the kits that Games Workshop sells be available in their store? Well, if you go through their actual catalog of like Warhammer 40K or Sigmar or something like that, you'll see that at any given time, like 20% of their items are sold out. Or you can even go to some of the more niche games. You know, Kill Team's a bad example, obviously, because it's constantly sold out. Or even something like Warcry. But that being said, we see there's tons and tons of dice included in here. There's also things like the transfer sheets and stuff like that. Obviously not nearly as important as the actual kits themselves, because sure, they might be selling out of Salamander's Legion transfer sheets, but they may just not make a lot of them. But for the actual units that are exclusive to Horus Heresy in specific, obviously they're going to have to make a lot, because anybody who wants to play the game is likely to need some of those more popular or useful units. So here we are, basically down here at the bottom, we see a couple transfer sheets that are sold out. Again, not really going to gauge that much from it. We see a couple of the upgrade sprues as well. So if you were buying one of these specific Dreadnought kits, you could buy the weapons that come in the other kit to upgrade your Dreadnought, etc. We see one character, Fafnir Ran, is sold out. But honestly, most everything is here. The Scorpius missile tank, very cool. One of the newer releases, sold out. One squad of the Terminators sold out. And then we see like the, you know, basically like bundle deal where you buy the Dreadnought and then you get the extra weapon equipment sold out as well. So honestly, looking at this and seeing what's going on here, of the 102 releases, we're basically at about 17 that are sold out. So there's about 17 releases that are sold out. So the truth is, if we just kind of look down here and look at what's actually sold out, here's 5 transfer sheets there, we see 4 upgrade weapons and a character, 6, 7 transfers, 1 dice, 1 tank, 1 Terminators, and then 2 bundles. So the truth is, no, Horus Heresy is not that popular. No, it is not selling out like crazy and taking over. And no, it is not going to dethrone Warhammer 40,000 as Games Workshop's #1 game. Matter of fact, it's not even close. Now, there are some units that are not actually available yet that I'm sure when they come out will sell out. Obviously, some of the various things that are sold out now will come back into stock. Other things will go out of stock. But we can gauge pretty accurately the overall interest of this. And again, kind of ruling out things like transfer sheets and stuff like that, because we don't know. Games Workshop might print 1,000 of them, they might print 10,000 of them, or they might print 100 of them. So there's no really way to gauge that well. And they're very specific to like a single chapter within the faction, as where, for instance, something like a Leviathan Dreadnought, that's available to not only the Loyalists, but also the Heretics, and then all of the various chapters inside of that faction. So honestly, I'm not really that impressed. I'm impressed with the prices of the Horus Heresy stuff. It is overall lower price than the 40k stuff. That's cool. I'm impressed with the new sculpts and stuff like that. There's a lot of cool units that came out, a lot of cool vehicles and all kinds of different stuff. Definitely the actual models are cool. Games Workshop's still doing a good job at that. I'm not impressed at all at the dice. They're super overpriced. But I mean, to tell you the truth, I'm also just not impressed by the sales. The fact that we're seeing that big box set essentially being liquidated on the open market, contrary to what Games Workshop even allows retailers to do. And then when we look through the actual catalog and see nothing is selling out, nothing is hard to obtain. There are hundreds and thousands of boxes of the Horus Heresy stuff all over local game stores throughout the world. And the truth is, the interest just isn't there. A lot of people bought into it, loaded up, bought the new box set, got a bunch of new sprues and kits and all that stuff. But it's not taking over tournaments. There's not a lot of people playing the game. It's not super competitive. It's not super casual. It's basically an afterthought at this point in time. And in my opinion, this looks to me 8 months in like a complete flop. Now, that being said, did Games Workshop make money off of these new kits? Is it better that they're selling all this stuff in plastic and Forge World is slowly being phased out from existence? I think all that's great. Honestly, I really like the new Leviathan Dreadnought. I like a lot of the new vehicles and tanks and stuff like that. But the truth is, this stuff is not selling. And we can see that, because if it was, it would be sold out. Not everything, but at least something. We don't see basically anything sold out. And now a quick message from this week's sponsor. This video is sponsored by CMOGames.com, where you can get 15% off most Games Workshop pre-orders, and they go live right at midnight Saturday mornings. CMOGames.com offers free shipping on orders over $25 in the US 48, and most orders ship within 24 hours. CMOGames.com has been selling Games Workshop products online for more than 20 years, and customer service is their top priority. CMOGames.com carries the full line of Games Workshop products, including 40k, Age of Sigmar, Kill Team, Warcry, paints, hobbies, and tools. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description below so they know you heard about CMOGames.com from Warhammer Man Studios. Now, back to the video. And anybody that's been trying to get Games Workshop products over the last couple years, specifically the last 3, 6, 9 months even, it's been very difficult to even get your orders filled. If you're a shop, or even if you're ordering directly from Games Workshop, they're taking weeks or even months to send stuff out. There are tons and tons of items that are in and out of the web store. There's items that have been sold out for 6 months and still haven't come back in stock all over Games Workshop's range. And in case you're thinking, well, that's just 40k because it's the most popular and the broken rules sell models, we're seeing the same thing in Sigmar as well. And to tell you the truth, we don't see any of the rules creep that we see in 40k in Sigmar nearly to the degree. Now, occasionally something will come out and it'll be really good, but also a lot of stuff comes out and has like terrible rules. Like, for instance, some of the new kits that came out for Slaves to Darkness are absolutely amazing and look phenomenal. But the actual rules are terrible, and you probably never even use these units in your army if you were just building for efficiency. So the truth is, everybody was hyping up Horus Heresy and talking about how the Age of Darkness was going to overthrow 40K and this was going to be the new way to play and everybody was going to be playing this. And here we are 8 months later with dozens and dozens and dozens of releases, awesome new plastic kits, and I don't think anybody really cares. Now, sure, there's a couple people out there that are super excited for Horus Heresy, and this is their main game, and they love the Horus Heresy Thursdays and all that stuff. The majority of people really don't care. Everybody's either playing 40K or Sigmar, or even some of the skirmish games have started to take off. When's the last time you walked into a shop and even saw someone playing the Horus Heresy? When's the last time one of your friends asked you if you wanted to get a game of Horus Heresy? Sure, there's still some niche players out there that are all about Horus Heresy and they're playing each other. And I'm sure some people are going to chime in the comments and tell me how awesome Horus Heresy is and how I'm missing out. But the truth is, 8 months in and Horus Heresy is already lackluster at best. I like the lore. I like a lot of the models. The prices are much better than the 40K stuff. I really enjoy the new things in plastic, especially coming over from Forge World and getting substantial price decreases. But I gotta say, the hype train behind Horus Heresy is dead. So you guys let me know down below. Do you feel like the hype for Horus Heresy is still big? Are you playing more or less games of 40K than Horus Heresy? Do you walk into shops and see people playing it? I'm genuinely curious. Maybe it's just me, but from what I'm seeing, Horus Heresy is already fading into the distance. Not even 1 year old, and in my opinion, with the exception of the initial burst of excitement, with the new release of the box set and all the new models and value inside, and then occasionally a little bit of hype as a new favorite tank or unit comes out. Other than that, I'm not even sure if people are really paying attention, let alone playing the game. So you guys let me know what you think down below. Just wanted to touch up on this. When this first came out, everybody was telling me how this was going to kill 40K and this was going to be the new game and everybody was going to be playing Horus Heresy and the rules were better and the game was better and it was going to be more popular. And here we are 8 months later and they were demonstratively wrong. Horus Heresy is not nearly as popular as 40K. It never will be. And honestly, I don't even think it's as popular as Sigmar. Possibly not even some of the skirmish games. So you guys let me know what you think down below. Maybe I'm completely wrong on this, and where you live, somewhere in the world, Horus Heresy is just booming and the community is growing every day, but I just don't see it. So always like to hear your guys' opinions. Obviously, there's still a few key units that we're waiting for Horus Heresy that maybe will change up the game a little bit for existing players. But I'm not sure anything's really going to be attracting new players to the game. I think the excitement, the hype, all that stuff is dead. And I am seeing people unloading Horus Heresy kits, either personally, shops, or entire collections at jaw-dropping rates. So let me know if you're seeing the same thing. Special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man. And honestly, when it comes to Horus Heresy, I'm not impressed. And I'm out of here.